Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at Thursday's ELA notes, and today we're going to be doing a writing or a pre-write activity. And so let's look at it. It says, a time that I was surprised. Think, pair, share. So this activity will help you plan your surprise narrative. So think. Individually brainstorm 2 ideas for a surprise narrative. Plan. Answer the planning questions to help you choose which surprise to write about. Then outline a logical sequence of events for your narrative. And then share. Your teacher will have some of you share your sequence of events in class. Now, what is a surprise? Surprise is something that really catches you off guard. And what are some things that you, as a 5th grader, would be surprised about? So, let's look at it. I'm sorry, Miss Samika and Miss Kayla needed something. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is what exactly is a surprise that we could use. So, example might be surprised by a family member or friend. So, the surprise by a family member or friend could be a surprise birthday party, a holiday surprise, someone's kindness as someone maybe doing something nice for you that you didn't expect or you didn't know about, a gift, a new achievement, something you were worried about, I just misspelled about, but it wasn't so bad. And then a change in behavior. Okay, so these are all examples of surprises that one could have in their life. So what we're going to be doing in this activity is we're going to choose 2 types of surprises. We're going to have a surprise 1 and a surprise 2. Where's it at? Surprise 2. So each one of the surprises has a very detailed planning guide to go with it. You have who or what surprised you. Why was it a surprise? So you have A, what you expected, what was unexpected. When and where was a surprise? So that gives you your setting. Did you act surprised? If so, how? Did any conversations or dialogue take place before, during, or after the surprise? Who spoke and what was said? So right here, before, if anybody spoke to you, so conversations you could have before, during, and after. And then you have surprise number 2. Same questions as surprise number 1. So before and after, making sure I don't get these out of order. And then plan. Which surprise has more action to show? So which one out of the 2 do you think would be the best to write about? Which one will give you the most bang for your buck? Which surprise can you describe using strong verbs and adjectives? Those strong verbs that we're going to be using, not the weak ones, the big, as a friend of mine says, the $10 words. Number 3, which surprise involves more of the 5 senses? Seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. and which senses. The surprise I will write about is, and then you get to choose. And then you are going to write the sequence of events of the surprise. There are 6. It says using full sentences, describe at least 4 events in the order they happened that are part of the surprise. Think about what happened before, during, and after the surprise. Think about how you felt inside and how you reacted outside. Think about specific moments that you can describe in detail. So, for me, I went back to think about moments that I was truly, truly surprised. And I was looking at all these things, and I had a little. I don't care for surprises that much. I like to know what's going on. So, something that I do know a lot about is worrying, is something you were worried about but wasn't so bad. So, a few years ago, so this is what I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to brainstorm in my head. Who or what surprised you? So, a few years ago, I went back to get my educational specialist degree. And to do that, to be a principal, you have to take a test. It's called a praxis test, and the test itself costs about $700 to take. So number one, I was worried that if I failed it, I would have to pay another $700 to take it. But the praxis test surprised me. So what did you expect? Well, I expected a really difficult, arduous test. I was expecting, to fail it. What was so unexpected about it was because I had studied so much, it wasn't that difficult. So when and where was the surprise? Well, the surprise where I was in Huntsville, Alabama at a testing facility, and it was around Thanksgiving. Was it around Thanksgiving? Wait, I'm thinking. It was rainy and messy. No. Yes? Okay, well, it was sometimes before I graduated. So, did you act surprised? Well, I can't really do that. I didn't act surprised because it was more internal. So I was more surprised when I got there and I'm like, hey, I know this. I can do this. So the conversations before I spent a lot of time studying. We had a whole class for studying. And some of the dialogue that I may include here was from Dr. Tipton and the things he said, or the things like the girls I rode down there with. During, I could have internal conversations that I said, and then after, I would talk about what I talked or what I said to the girls I rode with, or to my parents, or to my friends, and then the anxiousness I felt till I got my score. I had to wait a full month to get my score. So, and then the second thing I might put down would be my parents threw me a surprise 15th birthday party. But the thing was, I found the invitation. I wasn't being nosy. I found the invitation the day of the party. So I had to act surprised, but I wasn't really surprised. And my parents still don't know to this day that I knew about it, because I was at my aunt's house and she asked me to get something out of her, like a junk drawer or something in her kitchen. So I went in there to get it, and the invitation was just right there so I could see it. So I would have to write something different about that. But like, I had a surprise birthday party. So over here, planning. So the one I would choose would probably be my praxis. I would do all this, and then I would do this sequence of events. Like number one, I would say started a program with MTSU for the praxis and enrolled in a class to help study. I studied for months to the thing. Even my students helped me study. The day and the morning of the test, or the week leading up to it, I was so nervous that I hardly ate. when I was taking the test, I was at ease because I'd studied so much that it wasn't that bad. And then the worst part was waiting for the results. So that is something that I would possibly write about. So you yourself need to choose something, two things actually, that you would write about that is a surprise. And that's all you have to do with this part today. So, good luck. Try your best.